Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be making a Gnome Valentine wreath. I hope you'll stay tuned. Well, of course I have to make Mr. Finn a wreath for Valentine's Day. Why wouldn't I? I know it's late, but that's me. I bought these a few years ago. I think I bought them on AliExpress. I don't buy things from them anymore because I had an issue with an order, but that's what these look like. And if I can find the link to them, this one's a little weird looking. If I can find a link to them, I'll make sure I give you that. But that's those. And then I went to Joann Fabrics and I bought this Offray ribbon that is 7/8 of an inch, and it's 21 feet long. Hopefully it's long enough to go all the way around. And then I have this ribbon that I think, yeah, it's from Stampin' Up. They're no longer making it, I'm sure. It's mistletoe, and it's 8 yards, and it's a 1/4 inch wide. Nope, it's a 1/2 inch wide. I just made that up as I went. 1/2 inch wide. And did I tell you what this was? 7/8 inch, right? I did say that. All right. So what we're going to do, we have our glue gun. My plan is, oh, I didn't show you this. This is my gnome. And he has a little Velcro pouch. I'm going to have to reinforce that. But I'm going to put a little love note in there for my little great nephew, Finn. And then I'm going to make sure that he fits. I'm going to have him kind of sit right there. He's going to go like this. He's going to sit on the edge like that. And I can do whatever with his hat. But that's what he's going to do. Will it work? I don't know. We're going to go with it anyway. What I want to start with is I'm going to start my ribbon on what I'm going to call the inside of my wreath. And I'm going to just put a little dollop of glue right there. And I'm going to put it on an angle. When you try to make it go around, you're going to end up going around in the same spot if you do it straight. Let me show it to you. Let's say you were doing it straight, like this. I'm going to hold it like that's glued in place. This is Sandy's reenactment. So when you go to put your next piece in place, if it's completely straight like this, then your next piece is going to have to overlap it, or it's going to look really weird. And so we're going to avoid that by making ours go on an angle. Every time you go around with this, you're going to want to tack it in place with a little bit of hot glue. So I'm going to make sure that I overlap it. This is overlapping maybe a 1/4 inch, we're going to say. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue there. You're going to pull it tight so that that sets up in that spot. And then you're going to go around. And you want to make sure that each time you do this, that you're checking to make sure that your ribbon is covering itself, like it's not, there's no green exposed. Put a little bit more glue right there. Again, hold it in place. That, oh, got a little glue on me. Luckily I didn't burn myself though, that's the beauty of it. Okay, so I've given you the idea of it. I'm going to finish this and then I'll come back and show you the next step. I covered my whole wreath, and the top of it is the place where you can see this loop. You won't be able to see that at all because when I put my gnome in here, his hat will cover that. So no problem there. This is the back. You can see that I've got glue on the back. That's why you want to focus on front and back so that you always have one side of your wreath that's kind of messy and one that's not. So this is the back, and I want to start again with this Okay, do you see how these are angled this way? What I thought would be cute is if I put a little bit of hot glue right there. And then I'm going to go on the, hold on so you can see it. I'm going to go over the line, the seam, like that. And then to the back so I can make sure I see it. And I'm not going to put it in the same spot. I'm going to put a little dollop of glue underneath, and then I'm going to pull it like that and go over the next seam. You follow what I'm doing here? I'm going to have a gap in between that's going to be red. See that? I'm going to keep going, and then I'll come back when I'm done. So I ran out of the ribbon at the bottom, so I just put some white ribbon. I don't think you'll notice it because we're going to be putting the gnome there, and we're also going to be putting those hearts in place, so I'm not worried about it. So our gnome is going to sit right in here, and I'm going to glue the bottom, this part, to this, and then I'm going to also glue the top of his hat inside the wreath. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hold the wreath straight up and down, and I'm going to put a lot of glue in this section, and then we're going to put our little gnome's butt right on it. I'm going to scooch him back just a little bit and hold it down until it sets up. Keep in mind, we're going to also be gluing his hat to the top section, so he should stay in place without a problem. That noise, it sounds like a haunted house, is our front door. Rich is letting dogs in and out, in case you wondered what that there, I did it for you, noise was. Okay, so I want to put this so that his heart of his hat is glued to the front, and the other part of his hat is glued inside. It's going to just take me a second of finagling this around. Is that the word? Maybe. I don't know. So I glued in the front. Now I'm going to put glue in this part and then push that up in because that's the back. No one will see that. Then I pulled his little heart piece out, and that I want to glue onto the inner part, on that part. Then his hearts are coming apart, so I'm going to put a little glue in there just to make sure they're stuck together. When you hold it up like this, you can't even see the missing stitches at the bottom. If you wanted to, you could draw little lines with red marker, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let it go like this. And I need to put a little piece that's going to hold the wreath up. I'm going to do ribbon. So I'm just going to take a couple of inches worth. Maybe I'll just show you how many inches. It is, I think it's more like, it's 4 inches. It doesn't seem like it's 4 inches, but it's 4 inches. I'm going to take a pin, even though I'm going to glue this in place, I'm also going to put a pin through it just because I want to make sure it stays. I think I'm going to make it like this so that it can, it will have like a shape to it. It'll be easier if I show it to you. I'm going to put a little drop of glue. I don't know, can you see that glue? And then I'm going to push this sideways like that. And that creates more of an opening to hang it with. Then I'm going to cut off the extra that's past the glue. We're going to put our pin right through that section. So it's through like that. Can you see that? Okay. Then we're going to turn it over, and directly above its hat, we're going to put this into the foam. Then if the person that gets it thinks it's, you know, you don't want it, in this case, I don't want it to be seen, so it's not higher than the wreath. See, when it goes, it's not going to be higher than the wreath, but the pin won't hold it. So I'm going to lift the pin up a little bit, and I'm going to put a little drop of glue below it and a little bit of glue, can you see that, on the ribbon? And then I'm going to push that back down in and make sure that it stays and it's glued down, and there's our opening. So there is that. Now I'm going to measure how big my little card is, or well, will be. You can only have it to the opening, so that's where the stitching is. You can't see it because it's white stitching. And this is, it is 3 3/4 inches. 3 3/4 inches by 2 inches. So 2 by 3 3/4. I got to write that down because you know I'm going to forget that immediately. 2 by 3 3/4. Okay. So I'm going to get everything I need to make my little card to go in there for Finn, and I'll be back as soon as it's ready to go. All right. So I stamped from this Tim Holtz Funny Farm Animals and Puns, this Hogs and Kisses, and then from a Simon Says stamp set that's called Love You Very Much. I stamped the candies, and then on the inside I stamped Happy Valentine's Day from an old Stampin' Up set of sentiments. So that's what I did. So I thought what I would do now is I would just color with colored pencils, because I don't do this very often. I like colored pencils, and I thought it'd be fun to just kind of color them in, and it would be it wouldn't be super dark, so it wouldn't cover over my stamping. And I'm just going to kind of color in circles so that I don't have any lines. These are Prismacolor. These are my favorite pencils to color with. They're not watercolor, they're just colored pencils. I decided that red wasn't dark enough, so I'm going with this red. This one is Crimson Red, in case you wondered. Then I'm going to go into oranges, and this one is Pale Vermilion for Love You. I thought these were cute sentiments. They had a bunch of sentiments in there, but these ones were ones you could use on a little kid that weren't, you know, like the ones that were one said text me, and I don't know, they were just weird. The ones I didn't use were kind of odd. Not all of them, just some of them were kind of weird. For some reason, my paper doesn't want to accept that. Well, these things happen. Then I'm going to use a yellow one for my cutie. I think I'm going to go with this one that's Jasmine. Don't know why it's called Jasmine, but it is. I probably shouldn't have stamped them in red, but for some reason I thought it would make sense that the candies would be red. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, then let's do our piggy. And I'm going to do him in pink. And he is going to be in blush pink. Because why wouldn't he be? He's a pig after all. And then I'll probably add a different pink just for some fun. I did heat emboss with clear embossing powder just the pig and the sentiment around the pig, because I thought he needed a little bit of something. And this one is just pink, in case you wondered, pink. Okay, then I have some green for the bottom. This is lime peel, in case you wondered. I am going to do this. I'm going to take some Glossy Accents and do the different foods, yeah, the different candies. The problem I have with Glossy Accents is I'm heavy-handed. I like to use about 1,000 pounds of it so that it never looks right. It always has too much and it goes all over the place. It's just nasty. So less is more. You do want to have it so it's a little bit raised, but you don't want to have so much of it that you've got a huge mound. We'll call that Sandy's system, not what we're after. We just want it to be just enough that it's a little bit of a mound. Okay. That the edges, that second line in the candies, some of them didn't have enough color on it. I'm just making sure it does. So we're going to let this dry, and then once it's dry, we're going to make sure we don't want to do anything else, and then we're going to put it in the mail and send it to our little buddy Finn and see if he likes it for Valentine's Day. I do want to, I don't usually stamp cards, but I'm hoping that at some point in Finn's life, he'll be able to read cursive. And this is as close to cursive as he's going to get from me. So, yeah. So that's the card, and we'll be back when it's dry and I can show it to you finished. I finished my card. I should have done this on camera, but you know how I am. I used some alcohol markers and did the blue and the green. I used a little darker green to make it look kind of shaded in the bottom, and then the blue I just used the light blue, one color. And then I stamped the back, if you didn't see this already, with my Made For You by Sandy Parker stamp that I've had forever. And I think the place I got it was called Stamp Panda, and it was an address stamp called Molly, and I just changed it from an address to this. The swirls were there, I just changed the words, that's all I did. So it will fit, should fit right into my little pocket. Get in there, buddy. Like that. And then we just push her down and it's in and ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed this. I thought it turned out really cute, and I hope Mr. Finn likes it. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and please tell your friends about me on social media because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.